man who was once addicted to alcohol turns over a new leaf after joining Tzu Chi. A busker who was once paralyzed finds new purpose in life through his love for music. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Tzu. Thank you for joining us. We're beginning the program today with the story of a Tzu Chi volunteer who was once addicted to alcohol, Chen. Chen's health deteriorated due to his heavy drinking. After joining Tzu Chi, he repented for his past wrongdoings. Now he's grateful that he could wear the Tzu Chi uniform and get rid of his bad habits.
Sometimes I think if I did not drink so much alcohol, maybe I would be in good health today. I've drunk too much alcohol and ruined my own health.
就是要看，就是所谓的食道的肿瘤嘛。前一阵子又也冒出来一点点。
我以前为什么没有那个智慧，整天沉迷在酒瓮里面。
In the past, I lacked wisdom and was addicted to alcohol. I did not think about how I could do something meaningful. Now that I have the chance to volunteer with Tzu Chi, I thought that if I could regain my health, I will do my best to make up for my past mistakes.
好而健康的身体，我一定会好好的来弥补我的过去的错。来，到时候肚子不准。
Back then, my stomach was bloated. My wife said, "It's a waste for you to stay at home. Since you have nothing to do, would you like to go to the recycling station?" I saw this as a kind of activity.
We were preparing to chant for him because his wife called me and said that he was about to die. His situation was really bad as his stomach was bloated. Now that his condition have improved, I'm very happy. In addition, he's working very hard.
会啊，很高兴啊，而且他很认真。有时候穿这一套衣服好像很没有自由，好像。
Sometimes wearing this uniform, I feel constrained. For instance, I could not walk like this and I could not spit or smoke. There's too much constraint. However, later I thought this is good as I could gradually get rid of my bad habits.
慢慢把一些坏的习惯，会把它改除掉。
After the 2013 Typhoon Haiyan, Tzu Chi built a Great Love Village in Ormoc City. Residents of the village have to follow certain rules. No smoking, no stealing, no drinking. One villager had been a thief for over 20 years with multiple visits to the local jail, but he completely turned his life around when he moved into the Great Love Village. This year, he repented and vowed to do good deeds in front of an audience of over 2,000 people.
During the Ormoc Great Love Village Buddha Day celebration, Vicmar Casil repented sincerely in front of all the Tzu Chi volunteers and villagers for his past wrongdoings.
When I used to live in Manila and Cebu, I was a thief. Then when I moved to the Ormoc Great Love Village here, my whole life turned around.
Vicmar Casil has made a 180-degree change in his life. From the moment he became a member of the Great Love Village, he started to help his wife out with their small business. This business stand is now where they make an honest living.
Money cannot buy the happiness that I'm experiencing now. No one, including myself, could have believed that my husband would stop stealing and be the man that he is today. Our whole family dynamic has changed.
Now, every penny is hard-earned money that Vicmar and his family made themselves. He has completely changed his ways and is now a positive role model to his son.
My family used to be very unhappy. Anytime there was some money, my dad would take it to go buy some drugs. Now he is clean and both my parents are hard at work to earn and save money.
I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi for helping me get myself out of a bad situation. Without you guys, I would not have the dignified life I have now.
It only takes one thought to change our habitual tendencies. A living proof is Vicmar Casil, now renewed and has found the family bliss he once almost lost.
In southern Taichung, a Tzu Chi care recipient Wang Jingqing used to be a homeless man. He was invited to visit a Tzu Chi recycling station and was cared for day after day. The volunteers helped him find an apartment, and now Wang Jingqing is officially a recycling volunteer.
Inside the recycling station, there is a skinny man who is all over the place. One moment he is sorting out bottles, the other he is organizing the cardboard boxes. He never rests.
The more I do, the happier I become. I am so happy every day.
He is very dedicated and hardworking. He goes with the trucks in and out and always comes back to sort more recyclable goods.
Before, Mr. Wang was doing everything under the sun: smoking, drinking, gambling. He was wasting his body away and even battled a death sentence with hepatitis. This was part of the reason why he became homeless.
I didn't have a job, so I couldn't pay rent. There was a long while where I slept at a place across a temple.
Tzu Chi volunteers took him in to help with the recycling station and also helped him find an apartment to live in.
It's a miracle to not have to sleep outdoors.
The apartment is not big, but Mr. Wen is very grateful that he no longer needs to be on the streets.
The restroom right next to the temple that I used to stay at can be locked when going in. I used to take showers during noontime because there was only cold water. I could also wash my clothes and hang them out to dry.
Life is stable, and Mr. Wayne is very content to be at the recycling station each day.
No matter rain or shine, I am always here. I only live next door. I just need to carry an umbrella. Everyone here is like family. I love them all.
Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Baoyu, who does the DaAi radio program on the internet, has set up radio equipment in his living room. In the beginning, there was a lot of static in his broadcast due to the simple equipment he used. Thanks to volunteers' help, Mr. Wang improved the quality of his broadcasting after finally borrowing professional equipment.
Taking out a recording machine, a microphone, and mixer, the man has turned his living room into a studio within a few minutes. Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Baoyu has set up the DaAi radio internet platform in his living room. The program is titled Love in Syria.
I used an ordinary mixer, microphone, and a laptop. After recording the first episode, I found its effect and quality were not very good because there was a lot of static.
After the first episode was recorded, Mr. Wang turned to volunteer Li Shifa for acoustic help. Mr. Li immediately lent him professional equipment without hesitation.
It helps to ensure the quality of his recording when it is broadcast on the radio. It makes it sound more stable.
3、2、1。
各位亲爱的观众朋友，爱在西拉雅，我的慈济好音乐来给大家的，真正是一个真好一面。
The program is broadcast every Friday morning. The audience can listen directly online.
On the radio, some of our volunteers will have the opportunity to make people understand what they are busy with on Tzu Chi's Bodhisattva path.
在我们的这个慈济菩萨道上面呢，到底在忙碌一些什么？
The program invites volunteers from different parts of Taiwan to share their touching stories. The studio is small and simple, but it broadcasts wholesome stories which are full of love and warmth.
Today we meet local street performer Cai Shi-an, whose nickname is An. At the age of 6 months, he was diagnosed with spina bifida and tether cord syndrome. His father left the family, letting his mother care for him alone. He has had nearly a dozen spinal surgeries and at the age of 19 became paralyzed. Fortunately, singing and playing guitar has been an outlet for him. Furthermore, through physical rehabilitation, he's now able to walk.
你会在哪里？过得快乐或委屈？突然好想你，突然风里的花。
When An was born, his feet were all folded, and there was a large tumor wrapped around his spinal cord, and there was also a big hole. I felt helpless and on the verge of collapsing, worrying if my children would grow up. I also worry about what he would do if he couldn't walk.
At that time when I felt hopeless, I knew that I would recover because of my mother's love for me. She has been so brave and is in my heart and has given me courage.
对，那她有多么的勇敢。对，我觉得妈妈在我心中是一个最勇敢的象征。那算是我一个很绝望的时刻。
That was one of the most desperate moments in my life. I had no feeling in my lower body. I only had a sort of tingling, burning type sensation. That was the first time I was paralyzed.
I felt like I've made the wrong decision. I often feel helpless or begin to cry, but I try to not let him see my tears falling.
Volunteers in the hospital knew that I liked to listen to music, and I especially liked Shin, as they privately contacted him.
谢谢你的社区，给我就是这么多的力量，让我度过很多无助的时刻。在我术后。
About a month after my surgery, one day Shin came into my hospital room. He came and gave me a hug. He also gave me a guitar. And that was the first time that I tried to write a song.
你是否也曾想过，要如何完成这梦想？
I began to do rehab, starting with standing up and walking, first going 5, 6, and then 7 steps. I went slowly at first, was also incontinent at the time, but I didn't worry much about these things. For me, this is the most difficult task. Every time I finish it, I feel like dying. Is it because of the pain? My muscles feel very sore because there is great pressure on my core muscles.
He continues to do physical therapy and hasn't missed any time. Originally, he was quite bad off, and now his rehab has allowed him to do other work and even perform.
There is a documentary filmmaker who wanted to take me up Hehuanshan. At the beginning, I thought it was a major challenge because I have trouble walking even on flat areas, and this peak was at 3,000 meters. It seemed like mission impossible. Before we started, he said to me something that was very inspiring. Never say no before doing. Of course, I feel pain and I feel tired. I think the surgery and the people and things that I encountered later has led to a big change in me. So now I never want to give up. I want to change my lifestyle and become more independent. I want to change a few things, and when I have the chance, I want to depend upon myself. I also want to help others.
In 2005, Ki Pan-hu, who had trouble sleeping due to acid reflux, found peace and serenity through chanting the Lotus Sutra each morning. But in 2012, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Once again, thanks to her practice of sutra chanting, she was able to overcome all of these health obstacles.
It's been 13 years. Ki Pan-hu insists to chant the Lotus Sutra every morning. Chanting the sutra has become the medication for dealing with the idea of impermanence.
In the mornings, I have a very hard time sleeping, so I insist to go in front of the Buddha and chant the Lotus Sutra sincerely. I thought that I must be strong and stand tall. I must keep on living my life to the fullest.
In 2012, she learned that she had ovarian cancer and the news broke her.
That night, I felt very upset because I've been a vegetarian for over 20 years and I've paid attention on exercising regularly. I really couldn't understand and felt it was so unfair that I could have cancer.
While Ki Pan-hu is under chemotherapy, she still persists to listen to the master's morning teaching every day. The teachings are what cleans the worries in her mind and gives her the inner strength to face her sickness. Going through a major obstacle in her life, Ki Pan-hu is now considered in remission. Now she takes the time to involve herself with the cancer support groups and use her own testimonies to positively motivate other cancer patients.
My most important sharing is that they must always harbor good thoughts. With the goodness in mind, whatever happens in their life, they will be able to keep calm and seize the moment.
As humans, we are not able to control what happens in life, but we're able to give life meaning and control its quality. Ki Pan-hu lives every day like it's the last and ready to accept any future challenges.
Skydiving accidents happen and people frequently fall from higher places. For some, these risks are increased due to their jobs, which require them to work in risky areas. This can create very stressful conditions for workers who need inner strength to face up to their fear of heights.
When you look down from a tall building, it feels like the whole world is spinning.
I can feel my heart beat really fast. It's a scary feeling.
I would start shaking and feel really nervous. I would always try to grip really hard onto something. It's not a good feeling.
Your blood pressure is rising, and you start to feel dizzy. Mr. Guo, who works in the cleaning business, says every time he has to climb up to clean a high-rise, he always needs to calm himself down beforehand.
Just don't look down. Don't think about crazy things. Just convince myself that everything is going to be fine and I can calm myself down. This is the only way to safely go to work.
This is not a mental illness. In reality, everyone is afraid of heights to a certain degree. If I put you up to 5,000 meters in the air, you will be scared too. It's just that everyone's symptoms regarding their fear of heights are all manifested differently. Everyone's height tolerance is different as well. For the ones that have the biggest reactions, those are the ones that we tend to call having a fear of heights.
For the average individual, a fear of heights starts to show at around 10 meters up. With age, the symptoms of fear become more obvious.
The most often symptoms we see in people who are afraid of heights are loss of strength in limbs, rapid heartbeat, and cold sweats.
If you must deal with heights on a regular basis, then you must practice your height tolerance and control your inner struggles.
According to doctors, when you keep training your height tolerance, it will help reduce the inner fears.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding Buddha Day ceremonies at Taichung Drug Abstention and Treatment Center for 8 consecutive years. This year, the volunteers and the inmates also participated in a musical adaptation of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude toward Parents. As the inmates are reminded of their parents, many of them repented for their past wrongdoings. As the inmates participate in the musical adaptation of Sutra of Profound Gratitude toward Parents, many of them miss their parents. 25-year-old Mr. Zhang, whose mother died of cancer more than 4 years ago, has lived with guilt.
I owe my mother. When she was alive, I did not fulfill my filial duties.
Many inmates have learned that they cannot wait to do good deeds and be filial. 47-year-old Mr. Huang has turned himself in as he has made up his mind to stay away from drugs.
I feel that I owe my mother. I hope I can seize the time to be filial to my mother and do my best to fulfill her wishes. She has never expected us to have great achievement.
Led by the volunteer, the inmate participates in the Buddha Day ceremony, dedicating the merit to his mother.
A cycle of love has been created in their minds. I hope that after they leave, when they struggle between good and evil, they will choose to do good deeds.
The volunteers have been holding the Buddha Day ceremonies here for 8 consecutive years. By caring for the inmates, they hope to help them find their pure nature again. In celebration of the 52nd anniversary of Tzu Chi, volunteers in New Taipei City, Xizhi and Sanxia held a pilgrimage and Buddha Day ceremony. The volunteers hoped that the participants could cleanse their minds and change their habitual tendencies.
Celebrating Tzu Chi's Stride celebration ceremony and its 52nd anniversary, Tzu Chi volunteers in Xizhi held a Buddhist pilgrimage at the liaison office. Although the event was held in an indoor venue, the participants honored the Buddha piously. Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Liping, who suffers from cancer, has improved her health recently. On this day, she also came to pay tributes to the Buddha, hoping to find back her initial inspiration to walk the Bodhisattva path.
My body, hair, and skin were given by my parents, but my wisdom was given by Master Zhen Yan. I must hurry to restart my Tzu Chi missions and find back my initial aspiration.
Li Qingfen, who was diagnosed with cancer last year, her son accompanied her to attend the ceremony and seized the chance to send her blessings.
As long as I invite my son, he is always willing to accompany me. He's obedient and practices filial piety.
Through the pilgrimage, I was able to calm my mind and reflect on myself. I then dedicated my merit to my mom, to bless her and thank her. It wasn't until I had the opportunity to come to Tzu Chi that I have the chance to do good deeds.
In Sanxia, the volunteers went to a community to hold the Buddha Day ceremony.
I felt calm when honoring the Buddha. Through the ceremony, I was able to cleanse all the sins that I had created. Thank you all.
Yang Guinan, who was still in the pain of losing his mother, hoped to reciprocate his love to his mother by serving at the event.
Although my mother just passed away, I still came to attend the ceremony to express gratitude and pay the last tribute to her.
This was the first time for Mr. Yang to go through Mother's Day without his mother. To overcome the pain of losing his mother, Mr. Yang stabilizes his mood by learning the Dhamma.
In Taoyuan, many seniors with mobility issues could not attend the Buddha Day ceremony at the Jingsi Hall. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers held mobile Buddha Day ceremonies in the communities. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.